too, so.
I think everybody did.
Yeah, I had all the ones.
Did you?
Right.
Yeah, I did.
Boring.
Yeah, really not.
The little guys are never gonna survive now with the board now. All the big bigger.
Yesterday my office was 77 degrees. I was sweating. I thought I was gonna faint. Like, I gotta get out of there. It's so hot. Today it's like an ice bath.
Oh, yeah, we have that in ours too. Or like one side of the hall, right? is
Yeah.
Freezing and then.
Don't kid me, it's 28 there.
All right, you're being recorded, Nick.
I got one quick thing there though. My
But you
friends,
really are being recorded, Nick.
our friends next door, they went home before the hurricane, and they live up by near us. And they left their car here. The water came up under the garage door, 3 feet up, and killed the car and everything else in the garage. There's a lot of mess here, I'll tell you.
Yes, floodplains matter in Florida if you're buying.
Yeah.
All
That's
right,
why
here we go.
All right, go.
All right, I call to order the counties of Warren and Washington Industrial Development Agency special meeting on April 2nd, 2025 at 9:03 a.m. Ally, please roll call.
Jenny Sullivan. Here. Nick Caimano.
Here.
Trisha Rogers. Here. John Taplin.
Here.
Tim Robinson.
Here.
Dan Bruno.
Here.
Juan Gonzalez.
Here,
We have a quorum. We have 7 out of 9.
great. I will turn it over to Chuck for the application review.
Okay, so good morning. Our main event for this special meeting is to consider acceptance of an application from ADK REI LLC, which is a housing initiative. We have here Nick LaBouffe. He and his wife Kara currently own and operate 50 units in the area, and they have a location on the Luzerne Road. I believe it's 18 Luzerne Road that has 8 units, and they're looking to add 16. So with that, I'll introduce Nick, and he can talk to you about the project and the necessity for the incentives.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. So yeah, we currently own multifamily building there on Luzerne Road. It's 8 units. We have an acre of developable land out back. So we've got plans for 16 more units. They're going to be workforce housing oriented. So we're looking for the incentives to make it feasible to create the workforce housing and try and keep the rents lower instead of building it more luxury and having to charge the higher rents.
And the project cost?
So project cost, it's going to be approximately $3 million to build. We do have some items there for other expenses that could come up, change orders, but approximately $3 million.
What type of contract did you pick?
So it's a fixed price, yeah, at 2.7. So that's the build, yeah.
And a few other tidbits about the project. It is going to be financed with MBT Bank for $2.5 million. And obviously, if the parcel have an existing buildings, it is appraised at $831,000, and there will be continuation of base annual property taxes of $12,572. Always reminding people that the base taxes will continue. As far as potential incentives, this is all preliminary until, of course, the board accepts the application. There are 3 incentives: property tax incentives through pilots. We'll start with 50% off incremental property taxes in year 1 and decrease that by 5% each year over 10 years. The estimated tax benefit would be $112,092 over 10 years. There's also a proposed sales tax abatement. The estimated benefit is rounding about $80,000. And then there's mortgage tax benefit and estimated to be about $25,000. You add that all up, the total estimated benefits before fees is $217,000 rounding. And after our fees and legal fees, the estimated net incentive would be about $180,000. So with that, are there any questions? Oh, I should add, by the way, as you all know, Warren County came out with a very comprehensive housing study 2 years ago. And in its cite the necessity for housing, not only for the housing itself, but also for economic growth, because a lot of workers are not finding the housing they need. So of course, this project being located very central off of the Zern Road. It's actually in Queensbury, but part of Glens Falls School District and amongst a lot of different employers, both in Glens Falls and Queensbury. So as far as workforce housing, this is a very, very nice location. So this project will help with the economy with providing housing for workers. Any questions?
Plans to hire one additional person to help you management?
Yeah, maintenance.
Maintenance?
Yeah.
And update with the planning board, it's gone through planning board, but we might have an issue with secret that needs to be vetted out.
Yeah, I guess it just wasn't read in. It just wasn't presented. I guess it's there. They just needed to, at the next meeting, they're gonna just present that.
Okay, do you know when that meeting will be by chance?
Sometime this month, but I don't know. They haven't given me the date yet.
Okay, I asked because of if we go forward with your application, our closing could be the 21st. Obviously, we wouldn't be able to close or start the closing until that seeker is completed.
But you need to accept the approval of that.
Yeah, it seems to be a bit of an administrative issue. The seeker application was included. It wasn't formally passed. The application was passed by the planning board, but now I need to go back and acknowledge the seeker. Did I explain that right, Karen?
And what's that meeting? We don't.
Yeah, I think they meet twice a month.
Yeah, we
They meet
should.
like the second and fourth, or third and fourth
Mhm.
weeks.
So do you need that to approve the application?
Well, not
No.
approved, but
Yeah,
close
to close.
for charity.
So the plan would be to, if we accept the application today, we can get, we have to publish, we have to send for publication by this Friday to get us to the last possible day for the hearing, because of all these timeframes. That day would be the day of our next meeting. But if we have the hearing, we can approve it if the town is adopted its secret. And, then we'd rather wait.
And as far as starting construction, you're almost ready to go, right?
Yeah, so we're ready to break ground and we have all approvals.
So, Brian, do you need us to catch you up on anything on the application? Did you have any questions?
Give me a short summary of what you just covered.
Chuck, hit him.
$3 million housing project in Queensbury, 16 units on existing housing property, already has 8 units.
Correct.
This is Nick LeBouf. He and his wife own and operate the business. It's just a solid workforce housing opportunity in Queensbury, right on the border of Glens Falls. So both Glens Falls and Queensbury will benefit from this. Right off exit, sort of off of exit 18 in near Western Avenue.
Planning board approval was received. We just gotta go back and, they gotta acknowledge the seeker. So as our public hearing timelines, allow us, today's approval will allow us to get the public hearing the day of our board meeting on the 21st. And then at that point on our board meeting on the 21st, look to approve the application. And then with the caveat that the seeker, we can't close until the seeker process has been formally acknowledged by the planning board.
Yeah, that's the way it works.
Yes,
Okay,
good, short and sweet.
very good, thank you.
All right, any other questions by anybody? So we're here today to allow this process to continue and to be able to authorize a public hearing. So if we have no further questions, I will entertain a motion. Please allow me to get through the resolution. Entertain a motion to accept the resolution accepting an application for financial assistance submitted by ADK REI LLC, the company, relating to a certain project, authorizing a public hearing with respect to the project, and describing the financial assistance being contemplated by the agency with respect to the project.
I'll make that motion.
Any?
Second.
John,
Sure.
roll call vote, Ally.
Brian Campbell,
Yes,
Jenny Sullivan,
Yes.
Nick Carmano,
Yes,
Trisha Rogers,
Yes.
John Taflin,
Yes.
Tim Robinson,
No abstain.
Dan Bruno,
Yes.
Juan Gonzalez.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great. Congratulations. Big
Just
money.
other thing to mention, if I could, the public hearing will probably be on the 21st. And then on the same day, we'll have our board meeting at 4 o'clock. So we'll do the back-to-back public hearing and board meeting.
If I get stuck, in my vacation location, Chuck, we'll take the lead.
Public hearing, yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Is he supposed to be here in person to vote?
Because we noticed the meeting and gave his location, he can vote where he is. So, yes, there's an issue, but we have.
Already addressed it, thank
notified
you.
it, yes.
Good question.
Yep.
Good. All
Okay,
right, sir, one step down.
congratulations.
Congratulations.
One
Thank
step
you.
done.
Right?
All right.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you very much.
You're welcome to stay. Whatever you'd like to do.
See you at the public hearing.
If you want me to stay or
No.
Yeah.
you want to kick me out?
Oh, that's okay.
Location.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
All right.
appreciate
We'll get back to you.
it. Thank you. Nice to meet you. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you. Absolutely. You as well.
See you
Good
Friday.
luck, nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Look, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey, good luck.
Thanks, sir.
Appreciate it.
You just let us know when you're on the agenda for the thing.
Yes.
Nice to meet you, and I'll reach out to Matt
Okay.
to get the documents together for you.
Perfect. Thank you guys. Have a great day.
All right, moving to the next item on the agenda is the audit report. No, we not ready for to send that to the board, and anybody, Tim, you want to make a quick note or?
Sure. In general, it was a fine. audit. I mean, there's some challenges that we have that we will get up to speed with. We're working with, our busy bee bookkeeper Karen through Ally. They're meeting today and have a quick discussion before we get together. And certainly invite the audit committee to join that meeting to try to, get our net asset positions adjusted throughout the year as opposed to at the end of the year, because it really skews our internal financial statements. They have gone from a positive 124,000 to a negative 144,000 income because of these adjustments that were made throughout, we could have made throughout the year had we been made aware of them. So we are also looking for a new CPA firm too, because we certainly, appreciate their work, but I don't think it was as engaging as it could have been.
Not at all.
It was more of a, on the phone type, and I think we could probably do better by a local firm. I'd rather pay a firm that was within our Warren, Washington County, even if they have, it's just a satellite office, and that would be Marvin and Company. I checked with a bunch of others, they won't do it. So we really look at who we can use in this market. Curtis Murphy and Jeffrey said they're not taking any new clients. Laney doesn't do audits. I haven't heard back from Paul Down yet, but, from Waymore Down, but, I did look at the website for what used to be Marvin and Company. Forgive me, I forget the name of it, and a couple, that's an acronym. They have a local presence on Everett Avenue, and,
And they can still do a public audit, like, they'll still take
it
it.
says they do audits now that we haven't checked, but when I looked at their website, they have 50, 60 accountants on staff. It's not, a 2-4 person accounting staff or even 10. It's numerous. So it looks like they can. There's an RFP where you can submit your RFP right through their website, but we would get a contact and then interview them and talk to them about what.
Do the two banks, do you use your own auditors or do you use outside firms?
Oh, we have to use outside.
Well, that's what I'm getting. So do you have someone that you use that's local?
No, they're.
Part of the trick is.
Right, but I wondered if there was somebody that you
It's
knew.
getting harder and harder.
Yeah.
And they don't want to do.
They don't want to do it, right?
There's a shrinking pool for municipal audits. It's municipal accounting as opposed to private accounting. So, and Mike McCarthy, the gentleman who used to help us before, reported that the pool is shrinking for companies that do this type of accounting. So not only is it accounting in general, but it's a very specific kind of accounting.
So before we get going on switching, we better remember that we're happy we have one.
Yeah,
I guess that's where you are.
That's a good point to make.
Well, really,
You're absolutely
because you
right.
get so excited that, oh, I need something different, and then you're like, wait a minute, I had the best I was gonna get. The grass isn't always greener when you get to the other side.
When did
Are
you
we-
say that they were meeting, Tim?
So there's a meeting today,
Okay.
just to talk about these adjusting entries. Go ahead.
Right, I'll be meeting with Karen, our bookkeeper, earlier or later today, and we will go over the adjusting journal entries that EFPR have done, make sure we understand them. And, when we're both on the same page and we have a good grasp on what they did, that's when I'll see when everyone is available for a meeting, with the audit and finance committee.
Okay.
And if there's any questions that EFPR needs to address, we can bring them into the meeting, to answer any further questions. But at this point, the audit isn't ready to be presented to the board members. There's just too many questions.
And just one additional piece of information, cash is fine. So the reconciliation of cash is fine. We're just talking about accounting classifications
Right.
within municipal accounting.
Well, land and lease, because we had to deal with this with the chamber as well, that there was law changes last year that were put into effect. And Chuck made the point that I wanted to make is our cash position has substantially increased, and that's most important. So now we'll solve this issue, and then I will get that to the board, and then we're in a very
County
good
government's
spot.
always interesting too, and you've noticed this, some is based cash, others based accrual, and you're trying to mix and match to figure out where the hell you're at, and it can drive you nuts on certain days, so.
Are we in a lock with the current auditor, a 3-year lock or no?
This, what they just did is their last year.
Last
We
year,
had a
the 3-year
3-year contract with them. This was their 3rd year.
Yeah, which is
So-
why I went
So
out.
they're up for.
Yep.
Bid
Up for
anyway. Yeah.
RFP. You don't be surprised if we don't get any, I've heard the same things, we've heard the same things, we win. As we push out, it's usually you get 1, possibly 2 bids max.
I
The other-
am, sorry, I am curious about the complexities of the audit and everything that we have going on and the lack of engagement, if, if that could be built into the request, and maybe they could give us more time at a cost. Because not disputing Tim, but to start all over with another firm after
Right.
they've engaged with
That's
us
kinda
for
where I
3
was at.
years and have, kind of
Yep.
dove in, it's like, okay, now use this as an opportunity to educate us and help us understand it,
And you-
how we move forward. Whereas starting over, as you know, with a new firm, that we're not even sure if they would accept. the
They may not
Yeah.
want to
proposal,
do this
so.
You don't
anymore.
wanna put a wedge in where it's working, even if you'd like it to work better, let's find a way to make it work better if that's the case.
The only thing
Maybe at a cost, we could make it work better, sure.
The only thing I would say is there's a statement in here I'm very uncomfortable with, and that is the fact that they said they talked to management about these adjusting entries, and they didn't. There was no conversation. Now, this is just a draft, I get it, but
Probably took that from someone. It might just be regular language.
it
they put
is,
in.
you
think
know,
so.
it's just.
80% of the audit's
Yeah.
regular language.
But they shouldn't put it in.
Ally had to contact them and say, can you please give us the adjustments after we read that the adjustments had been reviewed with management? So we were a little surprised to see that.
Oh, so they talked to management. They talked
And
to-
I was kind of curious and I highlighted that, okay, so what were these adjustments? So we're not talking $10,000
No,
here.
it was significant enough to, but again. The other thing I did see is that the Canal Side Park, regardless of what, the appraisal comes in at, it's our cost that would go on the financial statement. It would
Which
not-
would be an issue we have to deal with for 25.
It would not be an adjustment
Right,
to
so
our, cost. You don't go, based off the most
Right.
current, you could go based.
It's what your actual cost was, it's just like doing your income
if we
tax.
sell it and then revalue it.
So, say that again. So currently on our balance sheet, we have
It's correct,
Canal Side at what?
12.
But that's not our cost.
That's
Well,
what it was.
I don't think anything, until we sell, then there'd be an adjustment, but until we sell,
Right.
that's what it was costed on our books originally.
We're carrying it
But
back.
it isn't our cost.
It was in our, that was in my challenge with the, it wasn't.
That isn't our cost.
It was the appraised value.
Yeah.
So,
But
Alright.
that would be in 2025. The other thing to mention is they did report there's some accounting standards that are changing for
Right.
2025. So we'd like to know those and start working towards them and also make sure our budget for 2026 reflects these new accounting adjustments. So there's some proactiveness too here. It's not just reactive, it's proactive for the future.
And Chuck put that out to them in an email.
Yeah.
Asking for that. You haven't heard back from.
They did get back to us and said they'd welcome to have a meeting to talk about the accounting standards.
Okay. Great.
And that's fair, and that's what's important, is that you're proactive.
Yeah.
You're not getting them just to get the report done, you're supposed to be useful to us in decision making.
good. Alrighty.
Yes. What?
Yes, Nick. Go ahead.
No, somebody called me.
Oh, perfect. Great. Just wanted to make sure you didn't have any comments.
I have no comments, except you all look very nice and I'm warmer.
All right. Good. Any final thoughts on the audit before we move on? Any other business?
There is one other business. Just want to notify the board that we have received an application for the purchase of property, specifically 2 lots, Airport Industrial Park Phase 2 off of Ferguson Lane. The applicant is BHB Management, better known as Hilltop Construction. They already bought a lot, and they, on that curve there on Ferguson Lane, they'd like to buy 2 additional lots, 2.67 acres each, all heavily wetland impacted. And as you may recall, we recently had an appraisal on our lots, including those 2, and the appraised value of each lot was only $1,000. But Hilltop would like to acquire the lots to do some outside storage, which would also be something that we would have to deal with, approving this transaction. And with that, I'll turn it over to Kara if she has anything to add.
No, so we, our declaration of the covenants for this park have, a no outdoor storage. As you know, we've had reviewed variances in the past. So the variance procedure would be to review, what the purchaser is proposing. And then, the declaration says that the variance can be granted upon a showing of need, reasonableness and compatibility with other businesses in the park. I'm not entirely sure what their plan is. I don't know if you're asking them to come, or if the board wants them to come to the meeting.
Perhaps we should ask them to come. I mean, as you all might be aware, the property they had already bought, they're already doing some storage, so it's just a continuation of their storage. But of course, they have to abide by any wetland rules of what they do, and they're aware of that. So we certainly could ask them to come to meeting the 21st when we have all the formal resolutions. Would you?
Chuck,
Go ahead, Nick.
is this one you dug up out of the earth, or something that came to us? I think that's important.
Well, they acquired one of the lots in Ferguson Lane about a year and a half ago, and they have come to us and said they're interested in the other lots. And when they did that, I said, we have an appraisal underway. Let's wait till we have the appraisal, and we would have that information available. Then they came back and said, yes, we'd like to continue. We gave them the application for purchasing the land, and they have since submitted the applications, 2 applications, 1 for each lot.
If we.
Well, I just think that, you being out and beating the bushes, people know who we are now, and they don't think we're crooks or anything. We help them, and that's, you're doing a good job there. Thank you.
Well, as a reminder, Hilltop also built that large new headquarters there right on Cary Road. So it all kind of fits with what they're doing as they grow their business.
Doesn't set a precedent when you allow for outdoor storage on one for anybody else, or they still have to go for their variance if they like, existing.
Well, the town now permits it. The town permits it. So this is our private, covenants regarding the property, so.
You have to set criteria.
Yeah.
So in other words, if,
The piece of lot that we sold them last year, we allowed outdoor storage.
Yeah.
So it's
we
already
just-
present.
we would just
Yeah.
mirror it. We would
We've
just mirror it.
already granted several variances on
Bless
this.
you.
The, Nolan Bottle, they received a variance as
Okay.
well,
okay,
for this use. The town changed its code, we did not modify our restrictions.
And this is a win-win. I mean, we're going on the
Yeah.
policy of divesting our properties that are wetland impacted. Someone can actually use this property for something. It's really a win.
How many properties do we have left, to Brian's question?
Yeah,
We have, the large area right there behind, between the two hilltop properties, it's 20 acres. And then we have an airport industrial park one, that 14-acre lot down by the old, sewer, connection house that is no longer being used. Washington County Sewer District actually owns a piece of land in between. So basically a 20-acre lot and a 14-acre lot is
and
one.
those aren't a problem with wetlands.
Well, they are. Those are
That's why
heavily
we still
wetland
have them,
impacted.
okay.
Now, we also have something at the end of Ferguson Lane, and we're calling it Ferguson Lane Extension. That's at 27 acres over 8 lots, of which we believe 17 acres are developable. And Mr. Bruno and I are working with Bob Holmes and an ecological expert in wetlands and trying to distinguish with the new wetland rules, are we impacted or not? There is a chance that we're not impacted. Yeah, so more to come on that.
So should we sell these 2 lots, then we're down to 3?
Yes, so these two, well, remember the Ferguson Lane extension is actually 8 lots.
But we're trying to
But we
make
have
that one.
3, we're down to 3 areas.
here.
1 developable, 2 heavily impacted by wetlands.
Right, so the quicker you get out of those, the better.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the, approved sell price has already been made by this board, and so they're priced to sell the ones that are heavily impacted. And we believe only those that own adjoining lands are gonna.
And some of that, we're also impact on what we pay to the sewer district too, and some of the stuff, or how did that work out?
Yeah, we merged some lots, so that's reduced some of our special fees.
And
And that-
once they're sold, we don't have the
that's
price,
correct.
I mean, there's
That's it,
there's
yeah.
a huge advantage to us to get these sold.
With the work done last year, I believe it was just a couple $100 increase of all the special property or taxes that we were anticipating to go substantially up. And with the sale of additional lots, that will only go down. So the tsunami that we were, making sure that we weren't caught in, we didn't get caught in.
Well, that helps with our cost containment too.
Right,
I mean, it's
exactly.
a lot of things in play here.
Yes. Good.
Yep, that's it. And again, we'll have more at the next meeting and we'll invite the applicant to be with us.
All right. Anything else for airport industrial park lots? Any other business? Any public comments? I like to do my 3 things, Joe. Okay. Does anybody wish to be heard? Does anybody wish to speak? Having called for public comments 3 times and hearing none,
Careful.
I would turn it over to Kara to get us into executive session, and we will not be making any decisions out of executive session, correct?
Correct. So, the purpose for the executive session is to discuss personnel matters.
Great. I entertain a motion to go into executive session. Ryan, second. Dan, all in favor?
All right.
And we're
Right.
gonna adjourn out of executive session.
And we will adjourn out of executive session.
So do we come back or are we gone? You're gone, right?
Gone.
Okay, we're out of here. Great seeing everybody. Do you have to come back?
Because Nick needs to stay.
Oh, yes, of course.
Okay, so I can
Just have to just.
get out of YouTube now?
Yeah.
Are we
Yeah.
official?
Yeah.
I was just making sure.